Hi, everybody. Bryan Broaddus here, and welcome once again to your favorite draft show, The Stack. Joined here by my scouting buddies, Iisha Morrison, Zach Wolchuk. Guys, I'm going to get right into it. You know me.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna ask you how you doing. You're doing all right. I know you guys are doing all right.
We're always doing all right.
You guys are watching film. You guys are learning about these players.
Of course.
You excited about that, right?
Look, I know. I know he's supposed to say something.
Are you giddy about it?
Are you giddy about
You
it?
giddy?
Yeah, a tad.
Are you giddy? Are you giddy? I'm going to talk to you. I want to do a show today.
All right.
I want to do a show today. And we get in this trouble when, as evaluators, and it's body types. Mm-hmm. It's size. It's when does the small corner, or in my case, when does the weak offensive tackle, where do you put that guy? Or where do you put the mammoth offensive tackle or the mammoth defensive tackle? That's what I want to ask you guys today, because we've got some guys so far in our evaluations that have some body type questions and how you feel. And I want to see how committed you are to these players, because there's been players, as we mentioned in the past, our guy Forbes.
Yep. Super skinny,
Mississippi State, first-round pick from the Washington Commanders.
This beat.
How about our guy Winfield?
Yep. Minnesota
safety, Tampa Bay. How about Mims, offensive tackle? John, there have been some guys that don't fit your eye. And I kind of want to go through some of these guys. Are there any other guys that, Zach, I'll ask you, any of the guys that I mentioned that, like an Evan Neal, I think I forgot. Is there any other guys that you could say, wait a minute, Bryan, these guys, I had them at this level. I was a little nervous because are they too big? Are they too small? You got some guys in mind?
Doin Jones, the offensive tackle from Ohio State, and I know our friend Vach Lombardi was super high on Doin Jones. He ends up sliding to the fourth round.
Yeah.
And he ends up being a starter for the Browns.
Yeah.
And here was the thing, is he just too big? 6'8", just an absolute giant. Can an offensive tackle that size actually be good in the NFL? And I think that you're looking at some guys this year on that offensive tackle group, like Proctor at Alabama.
Yeah.
Just massive. And, I think that you got to look at, for a big guy, how are the feet, the play strength, is he too top heavy? Mims fits into that too. Like, Mims was a really good athlete, but I think there were questions like, he hasn't played a bunch at Georgia. I think he had started like 1 year. So I think it is a little bit delicate of an exercise where you've got to look at, what does the film tell me? How does the measurables look compared to, maybe what is my ideal size for the position? But you guys know me. Hey, I outed myself. I like the tiny DBs.
Right.
So I've always fought for a guy like Antoine Winfield Jr.
Yeah.
I'll fight for the undersized safety, the undersized corner. I think where I have had some issues sometimes is like, man, is this offensive tackle just too big? And I can't kick him inside. Like, could you imagine Proctor playing guard?
Yeah.
I don't think physically he can kick inside and play guard.
Iisha, there's and we'll get to Proctor. Is there anybody like that for you? Or maybe not? It doesn't have to be a player name, but is there a position that you say too big, too small, or does it depend on the team? Okay, for example, if you're a scout for a team, where are you going to fall on the too big, too small scale when you're on a team? And I think a lot of it has to do with what team you are. Are you with a team that's willing to take a guy that might be a little bit slow-footed, or a guy that might be a little weak? He's only 306 pounds at tackle.
Yeah.
Is there something when you're watching tape? Do you have that in your mind?
Well, I think it depends schematically as well, because when you think about a team like the Rams that do a lot of stuff kicking out, their tackles are athletic.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you, again, schematically, what are you asking these guys to do? Where do they fit? I mean, another gentleman that comes to mind when you talk about the offensive line, we talked about Osiris Torrance.
Right.
Is that big mammoth guy, but the feet. were limiting.
Heavy-footed, right?
Heavy-footed with the feet were a bit limiting.
Right.
So then also too, we talked about them before. We talked about, remember that wide receiver class that was Itty and Bitty, right? With the Zay Flowers,
JSN class.
with the JSN, with the Tank Dell. It's very hard for me because I feel just like Zach, where I'm like, can this guy play? Okay, but are his limitations something that you can navigate depending on what else you got? Or depending on, like, is a guy being that small, do you need him on special teams? You know what I'm saying? Like, can he do things on special teams? We run into that with, we ran into that with Deuce Vaughn.
Right.
Think about guys like Devontae Turpin.
Yeah.
He doesn't give you enough as a blocker on the outside. I think that it really depends on the scheme that they're in, but also, too, I also want to make sure, too, as I'm scouting, is am I giving these guys room for development? Because I also think about Mason Graham, where people were concerned with the short arms.
Short arms,
Tyler Linderbaum,
Yes.
center from Baltimore.
Yeah.
How do they navigate their weaknesses?
Right.
Is the weakness so glaring that it's going to become a liability? Or can this kid work into growing or kind of countering having those weaknesses? I'm a little bit more lenient depending on, but I know scouts are like, some of them look at length, stuff like that, and it's a definite thing, especially talking about like corner.
And then weight, right? Like, I wanted to ask you this, Bryan, because I think a lot of us have talked about the health with some of these guys. Like, that's the concern.
Right.
Like the body type, like the Tank Dell has struggled to stay healthy.
Yes.
We had that conversation with Travis Hunter last year.
Right.
Because especially if he was going to play both ways,
sides,
but also not, like, the weight wasn't quite there for Travis Hunter. And then what happened? Unfortunately, he did end up getting hurt. Now, it could be totally unrelated. But like Devontae Turpin, if he's going to be an exceptional kick returner, but then now he's also getting snaps at wide receiver, how many snaps can those type of body players actually end up giving you before the war and attrition in the NFL ultimately takes a toll?
Yeah,
on
the
you?
17 games and all
the
that.
play strength and durability are huge, for guys. And as we get into these corners, some of these smaller corners, that's something that I think shows up in tackling. It's not that they're not feisty. A lot of these guys are feisty. They will come downhill. Some of them can actually set the edge. But again, over the length of a game or NFL season, how is their bodies going to hold up? So those are things I think you consider when you're talking about some of these smaller corners. But I love the temperament from a lot of them.
know.
though. You know?
Yeah, I worked in a system in Green Bay where my boss, Ron Wolf, who's a Hall of Fame general manager, his son Elliot is running the Patriots right now. And shout out to Elliot. He's done a heck of a job with the Patriots. The thing that Mr. Wolf always used to tell me is if he's a small guy, he better walk on water. That was always what he said. You better walk on water.
In small schools, right?
In small schools was another. And where Bill Polian at Buffalo was in Super Bowls every year, drafting guys from Kutztown and places like that. So it's kind of crazy.
Where that at?
Yeah. What?
What the heck is Kutztown?
Kutztown's a school.
Where is that at?
Don't ask me. I'm terrible at
Pennsylvania.
geography. Pennsylvania. That's the
I think I got that
encyclopedia.
right. Hadn't seen a player in a while, but we did see Ali Marpet from Hobart.
Ali Marpet.
You weren't
Was
part
that
of
with the bounce house?
That's
in
the
the
bounce
end zone?
house in the end zone.
Yeah.
You didn't get a chance to evaluate Ali Marpet, did you?
I don't think was I alive?
Were you
I'm playing.
Second
Who
round
was it?
pick with the
Who was
Patriots.
it?
Second, Ali Marpet.
Offensive line.
What year though? What year
He
though?
was before we jumped on.
Yeah. It's
on the
before.
draft.
Yeah,
Oh, you
It was
know
probably
I'm-
the
it's
year or two
before you
we jumped
became
on.
this famous scout you are
Please,
now.
please.
All right. Speaking of famous scout, Iisha Morrison. I'm going to ask you, because we're going to get into some of these players in the draft a little bit. And I gave you guys a homework assignment, and I want you to tell me about, is this player too big, or is it just right, or where do you see these guys fit in, okay? And the first player I want to start with is with Alabama's offensive tackle, Kadyn Proctor. Okay, we're listing him as 6'7", 366 pounds.
6'7".
He's the starting left tackle for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Iisha Morrison, take it over for me, please.
Well, first of all, shout out to Iowa, Des Moines native.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I lived in Iowa for like 6 years, so
Did
I
you?
kind of rep them a little bit, just a tad.
There you go.
I always wondered why anytime those Hawkeye players came up. Oh, wait. Who's our guy from Iowa State that the Jets took? The rush edge, the edge rusher.
McDonald.
Yes,
McDonald.
Yeah. Aisha was like, oh, McDonald.
Yeah, you did love McDonald.
Forget y'all.
He's turned out to be good.
Yeah, it's turned out to be good. But
Yeah.
Kadyn Proctor,
Yeah.
offensive tackle, Alabama.
Yeah, this was a 3-year starter at Alabama. He played all 15 games at Alabama this past year. I said I liked getting a look at him versus the top talent. That's one of the upsides of these guys playing at these bigger schools. 39 games as a starter, so this guy has played a considerable amount of football. That's something we care about. This is a big human, y'all.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I wrote down. This is a big
It's
human.
like Flozell the hotel.
Yeah,
more weight.
Yes. I said that he displays good explosion out of his stance. I think he kicks with a purpose. I think he gets into his initial set pretty quickly for his size. I think that he plays with some good patience and body control and pad level. Now, for him to be so tall, it can be a little up and down sometimes.
All right.
It can be a little up and down sometimes. But and against some of the top talent, I was pleased with it because, again, that's something that we know guys work long, like early into their career. He's going to be working out for a minute. I said that he's the aggressor typically with his punch. Power. And I like that. I like that he's not like a reactive type guy. I think the hand placement is pretty consistent, but I believe he times his strikes well and has a strong latch. I think his contact balance is pretty good as well. You can use him in the pull and trap game. His feet are not clunky, but they're not quick. They're not clunky, but they're not quick to me. I don't feel like
he's a little clunky.
I think in the run game, I do think in the run game, they are a bit clunky, but they're not. I don't know if it's like gonna hurt him.
So you would still
terribly through his career.
Pulls, because I think that he is slow to his spot.
I think he's a little slower to his spot, much more than this guy we're gonna talk about. The other gentleman we're gonna talk about, the one I watched from Utah. The other tackle.
Can I jump in?
Yes, jump in.
I agree with her.
I don't think that.
I think when you look at him, the lateral for a guy for 366 pounds with
his size,
with the lateral quickness, I think there's something to this
for sure. But man, I do think there's times where your running back's going to be like waiting. You're
going to need a.
I kind of felt that way on some of the stuff with Booker last year, watching him play. That it got
could that be scheme related? That's
possibly, but it's because he has that thick, square kind of boxy build.
Yeah. Once he gets his hands on you, I mean, it's game over.
Yeah, I mean that's the point. I think it's the fact that when he fills those gaps, how much room does some of those smaller defenders have to really operate to get past them? I think his body is imposing when he's filling in the run and stuff like that. But the feet do need to improve, Brody. They do need to improve.
And it's just because, he's just so massive. But you're right. I mean, for his size, he is a tremendous athlete. Like, when you're watching them put him out as an eligible receiver, and get him the football, it's like, what is going on now?
As Iisha would say, that's being disrespectful.
But and speaking of that, this guy is a bit of a finisher. He does. He will drive guys off the ball. I will say, too, is that I feel like he has decent spatial awareness. Again, given his size, some of those quick outside passes where they're asking him to kick out, and he's having to get out there again. It can look a little.
No, but he can do that.
Yes,
I didn't have an issue with that. It was just when they're trying to pull him,
pulling him around
to the far right. That's where I'm like, ooh, I think he can be a little slow getting there, but he definitely can get in space.
But I liked him in the screen game too. Like, I think he can do things in the screen game too. And again, he's such a big guy that once he gets up there on those linebackers and some of those smaller defenders, I mean, he's dragging them because they tiny. No, you know what's so weird about him though? He don't really drop that ass like that.
He doesn't drop that ass. And you know what ticked me off watching him? Because he can be so violent and he can be so powerful.
But that anchor is not like...
No, and you see him get pushed back into the lap of the quarterback.
Yeah, that anchor is not like...
What the hell is going on here, dude?
Yeah.
You should be overpowering everybody you're playing against. Because I don't know all the games you guys watched. I saw Florida State, LSU, Georgia.
I did LSU, Tennessee, Missouri, and Georgia.
Okay. And you do see he will drive defenders off the ball in the running games.
Right.
Everything that you said there. And he's got good lateral movement for his size. I've got that written down. The leverage you talked about, he will allow defenders to dip underneath him, and that's just because he's so tall.
Yes.
So that's the issue when we're talking about these bigger-bodied offensive tackles.
Pad level, stuff
those
like that.
are the concern levels. But the one thing that ticked me off when I'm watching a 6'7", 360 just violent bulldog.
It's that anchor.
Yes, and it's like, dude, get set.
Yeah.
Why are you allowing guys to drive you back into the quarterback? And there were also certain times where he is on his game.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm like, he doesn't quite look like the same guy today.
Yeah, it's so with the anchor, it was driving me nuts too. Because I was like, you too big for this.
Yeah.
You should be stopping people dead in their tracks.
Sure.
So finding bodily control with his lower half, I think, is going to be important to him moving forward. Also, too, when you talked about some of the weaknesses, obviously he allowed 22 pressures this past year. That's why.
Yep.
A lot of it is that's why. It's not so much of guys getting past him all the time. It will happen, like you talked about. But a lot of it is he can't sit his ass down and stop people in their tracks. Also, too, in timing his strikes and marrying his strikes to his feet more consistently and it being like one considered thing. And I said also, too, I say his lateral quickness can improve. He gets kind of wonky when he has to open up his hips a little bit more. I don't know how much
he can't bend. I don't think he can sink his
That's what I'm
hips.
saying.
And
But
that's again because of how tall he is.
But he can recover. It's just
he
not
does.
always pretty. I do worry about how he does reach and stuff when he is trying to recover. Is that's going to hurt him in the pros? But this guy has the active motor is what's going to help him as he gets better at countering and dealing with some of those guys. So that's what I got for Kiddo.
Wolchuk.
Yep.
What you got?
Worried about the 366 pounds.
You think he liked these sandwiches?
I'm just saying. Are you worried about his size, or is he just right for how you evaluate him? Where is your level of concern about his size? Because you guys brought up some stuff about not sitting down.
Yeah, no, that's my concern. I worry about one. There are certain guys like this, and I think we've seen it with our own Tyler Guyton.
Yeah.
And how messy it can look because he's 6'8".
Yeah.
And you've acknowledged it, and I agree with you. He's got that basketball body type.
Yeah.
He is a converted basketball player.
Right.
That's what he played. And so, Kadyn Proctor's not like that. I think he is filled out much more than Guyton. Like, Guyton is a tremendous athlete with the foot quickness.
Yep.
Proctor is the opposite of that. This dude is extremely powerful.
So you're not worried about it. No.
I'm worried about the lack of bend.
Okay.
But
not the size.
And the leverage. No,
the size is fine.
I'm worried about the 360, not as much.
Yeah.
I think it's the height causes a problem for him.
Okay.
When it comes to line
Bend.
Yeah, the bend and then giving up leverage underneath so they can slip and dip underneath him.
Too high.
Same. Now, I will say, you mentioned a really good point earlier, is that he might be too big to kick inside.
I don't think he can.
Because a lot of these guys that deal with the stuff that we talking about end up being guards. But, baby, he take up too much space.
But did we think that with
Mekhi
Osiris
Becton?
Torrance? And Mekhi Becton.
Maybe
Mekhi
Becton-ish.
Mekhi Becton's a great example.
He's giving Becton a tad bit.
I could be so wrong.
He's giving Becton.
Kind of fit in that eye. Kind of fit in that eye.
He's giving Becton a tad bit.
Fit in that eye. All right.
He's a freak. He is
But he
a
can
freak
play.
athlete for his size.
He can play. All of the concerns that I saw with him,
But
to be expected with somebody this big as a human. And again,
We got our first duh of the year.
He's kind of a stay away for me.
he stressed you out.
Yeah, he's just so boomer bust. In the first round, it's like I don't want to take a guy that I think might be out of the league possibly in 3 years.
No. You think he's gonna be out the league in 3 years?
I'm not saying that he will be, but I could see him struggling.
Yeah.
I could also see him being dominant and being a Pro Bowler. It's just one of those things where it's like, he runs hot and cold. This year's tape was there's times where I'm like, gosh, I love you. And there's other times where I'm like, dude, what are you doing
All right.
here? And I didn't love that.
Let's go.
What you got, Brian?
No, I'm moving this thing along.
Fine.
I'm moving this
I
thing
wanna hear
along.
what
I
you
like
gotta
what you
say.
guys are talking about. Okay, Wolchuk, I'll go with you. Oklahoma edge. And this guy's got a strange body type to me because he's 6'2", 249. And he doesn't look like an edge when you watch him. I'm thinking of R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma.
What do he look like to you?
Yeah, 6'2", 249. So this guy,
He looks different.
tweenery kind of.
Tweenery
Yeah,
is a very good.
so.
Yeah, we're
And-
making up
and
words.
We used to have this with the the outside linebacker defensive ends like the Marcus Ware type, the tweeners. Now that's just an
what
edge
he
rusher.
is? I was about to say.
That's just an edge rusher.
This outside linebacker.
You think he's an outside linebacker?
I wrote it down.
Now, he played both left and right sides, but you're right, because he switches his stances. He's 2-point to 4-point, both hands on the ground, and I thought he was really good in the 4-point stance.
Yeah.
I liked him with both hands down. He is a relentless pursuit type of player, and he gets rewarded for it because he'll end up in the right space, and there is a big play. He had the scoop and score in that Tennessee game right before he got hurt.
That's where he hurt
and
that
was a
hammy.
bummer. Yep, and he's a fourth-year senior, 4-star recruit coming out of Florida, won back-to-back state titles, also ran track in the 100, 200, and 400.
You don't say.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, we love our multiple.
That's incredible. Hey, you got to mention that, right? All SEC second team.
Yeah.
He's got the power and the punch to shock offensive linemen. I like the hands. He is a difficult guy to drive off the ball.
Yeah.
So you talk about a dude who can kind of like drop that ass in reverse, playing defensive end. He'll hold his ground. He is very, very difficult to move. He does have some bend. He can drop into the flat and coverage. Not something I want him to do a lot, but he's got that versatility. You'll see him crash down the line versus the run. He did miss a big tackle in the Texas game. And that led to a huge run. So there will be certain time, and that was one play, all right. But I love his ability to close ground.
Glad you noticed that one play.
Yeah, but hey,
Did it sting you a little bit?
It did. It did. I was like, you're crushing. Oh, no. There he popped one right there. But he's got a nasty bull rush. South Carolina, he dominated that football game. He really did. I love the power. I think he's got counter moves, maintains pursuit with the rush. I think he's just a really good all-around player. So despite the fact that, like, does he fit your eye as a typical defensive end?
Sure.
No. But he gets the job done and he wins.
Well, your scout buddy thinks he's an outside linebacker.
Well, are you concerned with the? I mean,
Here we go. Get
No,
I couldn't play him off-ball linebackers. Or are you just talking like a stand-up outside?
I'm just saying. I'm saying he's more stand-up.
Okay.
Stand-up type guy.
Explain your side of the story then.
No. It's just the movement. It's just the explosion and how low he tackles. And then I also, too, I thought he has a natural bend for bending the corner without losing a lot of speed off the edge.
I like what you're saying there.
I thought that he had pretty good hip bend and flexibility and body flexibility. So to your point about him missing some tackles, that's one of the things that I will see with him. I think that he needs to work his counters. I think that he relies very heavily on that first step, which we see a lot of young guys do at that position. And also, too, is maintaining that pat level and disengaging in the run. He reads it.
Yeah.
But sometimes is that I agree with you, is that he's not a guy that's going to get driven off the ball.
But does he get off the block?
But yes, but also too, he can get snatched sometimes, and guys can catch that outside shoulder of his and move him out of his gap. And also too, gap integrity. He's a guy that wants to make plays, like we talked about.
He does.
He can overrun stuff at times, but I mean, I think that he was one of the better speed rushers that I've watched through this class, as far as just getting off the ball, relentless to the backside. His motor runs hot, like you talked about. I liked his hands too.
I love the hands. I love the punch he plays
The
with.
hands have a lot of room to develop. The hand tech, and I'm saying that as a good thing.
Yeah,
that I think he understands very active hands, and he can flat out win with that 2-hand swipe and the bull rush with the power, like you talked about.
Yep.
I do think that his quick feet do make it difficult for offensive linemen to latch onto him in the run. But yeah, I think that the guy, the way that he reads the run and stuff, he can do it, but he's better suited with guys not clamping on him or not being able to clamp on him like that.
I'm going to read a line, and you guys tell me if it's true or false.
What he about to go? What he about to say?
True or false, either one.
Okay.
Scouts will likely not like his frame or his shorter arms. But you can't discount the way he rushes the passer and the way he plays with quick twitch and explosiveness. True or false?
That's a true.
Yes, that's true. What's wrong with the baby's weight? He too little.
249. I think that they might. But
he looks funny. When you said he might be a linebacker, and maybe a 3-4 outside linebacker. No. I was thinking she's not wrong.
I like him off ball too, like slashing through traffic, slashing through,
and you're
traffic.
seeing defenses do that a lot more now, where you're standing guys up and kind of moving them up and down the line.
So he returned in November, obviously, but with the hamstring, is there concern with?
Well, it was a quad.
It was a quad. Right,
He's had a history of ankle problems too.
So are the injuries concerning to you gentlemen with this guy as well?
I would not think so, because I think now the ankle thing is something that has to be checked, because you don't want a guy that's constantly.
It's too essential to his flexibility.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Like I said, I think you guys got this guy right. He just doesn't stop as a rusher. I mean, he is constantly. He's got a feel for the depth. Like, he doesn't get too far up. He can come back. I'm impressed with this guy. But like I said, I read that line to you. Scouts are probably not going to like 6'2", 249.
Yeah, he can slide.
But I tell you what, I think this guy's a hell of a player.
I agree.
I think he's a hell of a player.
How much does Donovan Izaraku weigh?
He's 260.
I ain't trying to start nothing, but
he's
how
actually.
much he weigh?
R. Mason Thomas, I think, is lighter than Ezeraku was.
He's lighter in the butt
about
than him?
The body type,
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit more filled.
Yep.
Ezeraku was a little bit more slender. But here's the thing: as much as we love Donovan Ezeraku because of his performance his rookie year, which I don't know is necessarily like I get the sack totals weren't there.
Yeah.
But I think that it's maybe being a little bit blown out of proportion.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I'll blow it out of proportion. Let me be involved.
Just his overall rookie year
Man.
performance.
You
Like
man?
the sack, they were disappointing, but he still was good as
Yeah.
a rookie.
Yo, you saw a lot of
No.
improvement from him, especially.
Abdul
I was
Carter,
thinking
how
he
many
was going to
sacks
have
Abdul
6
Carter
to 8
get?
sacks. I was thinking.
the Nugget got to learn how long is his
Nugget.
arms?
Yeah.
How long are his
I think
arms?
he had pretty long arms.
He had long arms. Well, if he because that's the thing that I thought Ezeraku struggled with this year.
Yeah.
Is giving up his chest, giving up his body.
I agree.
He really
I
has
agree.
to work, not letting guys get
34
their
inch
hands on
arms.
I was kind of thinking that, like, why he just looks like a normal guy. I saw a better player at Boston College. I was disappointed. I thought that he won against better offensive tackles in the ACC than some of the games he was playing against some bad offensive tackles.
Can I also do you one better of him? I feel like the start of the year it
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah.
About middle of the year, some of that stuff maybe
Got
the
wore down.
durability.
Durability got wore down.
Nugget got to get some big
Gotcha.
boy strength.
All right.
Leave me. Shut up.
That Nugget got to get big.
That
boy
Nugget
strength.
gotta get-
You're not, yeah.
All right, Iisha.
Okay.
I'm going to take you in a different direction here. We all kind of had struggles with the really tall wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it seem like that every Ole Miss receiver that we've ever evaluated was 6'5" and above?
Old
And,
Laquan Treadwell.
yeah, and we just and that didn't work out for any of
What
us.
was our guy from Florida State? Jimmy Jimmy or something from like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know you're talking
The
about.
Eagles drafted him.
Yep.
He was so big.
I can't in my mind. I can't even. I purge my brain. I could see him running routes at Florida State and catching the ball on
Johnny Wilson.
Johnny Wilson.
6'6".
I'm sure that people right now are watching this and going, "Oh, Johnny Wilson, Broaddus." All right, Iisha. There's a really talented wide receiver at the University of Washington
Yeah.
named Denzel Boston. Measurables say right now he's 6'4", he's 210 pounds. First off, is that too big for your eye?
No. I think he has a balanced build. No.
I do too.
I think it looks right.
You think it looks right?
He doesn't look like
You look out of whack?
oddly proportioned to me.
All right. Talk me through Denzel Boston, 6'4", 210, University of Washington.
Well, he's a Washington native, and he is 23 years old, so he's not a nugget. He's kind of like a, I don't know.
He's a well-done nugget.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe
He's a drumstick.
yeah, but basically like, maybe he ain't a nugget, maybe a tender. So,
Maybe a tender. Okay.
Maybe a tender.
my bad, y'all.
No.
He was a starter in 2024, 2025.
There's some company out right there right now that wants to sponsor us for your nugget talk, and you're exactly.
Started in 2024, 2025, this past year. He balled the heck out, 881 yards, 11 TDs. This guy just can flat out win.
Yeah.
He can just win when the ball is in the air.
Boy, I
think
tell you hit that one
the
right.
concentration and his ability to track the ball. I mean, also, too, the adjustment to the ball, boxing out the defender, really using that frame to make sure he positions himself to catch the ball. But he's also, too, I think he's a pretty smooth route runner for his size as well. It obviously can use some refinement with some of the quicker, some of the stop and go type stuff. But
at 6'4", is he think that's it? Are we asking a guy 6'4" to do some stop and go stuff?
I'm not. You're not asking him to do it, but I don't think that he is terrible.
Do you think he's
doing it.
capable?
I think he's capable. I
Okay.
think he's smoother as a route runner than what you would expect
Okay.
for his size. You don't like him as a route runner.
No, I have a hot take on Denzel Boston.
I gotta hear it. Okay,
well, finish up. Don't let him do that
I
to
want
you.
you to go.
We can fight.
No, you let me know. No, I like Denzel Boston a lot.
We can fight.
So if you like him, we're going to see eye to eye. We're
So
not
how
gonna
do you
fight.
have good body control, but you can't run routes? I think this guy has good body control.
think-
So how can he not be?
excellent?
Does
body
Washington
control.
have a history of the body control wide receivers that don't run great routes?
That's what I'm saying. How can
Is
he
it a
obtain-
Washington Husky thing?
Maybe I'm seeing the body control in the
Roman
route running.
Dunze.
Well, Roman Dunze was a good route runner, but he was smaller.
Yeah.
He
But
was-
like J Mac
Yeah.
and Jalen Polk hasn't worked out. He was a bigger bodied receiver.
And I liked him.
I liked him too.
I liked him. But that's interesting. Okay, well, I thought
Your
that
question. Ask your question again.
how can someone have good body control
Yeah.
but struggle as a route runner, because so much of route running is obviously foot quickness and things,
Yeah.
but it is body control.
But you know what it is? He doesn't look like an explosive athlete.
He doesn't look like
He doesn't.
an explosive athlete.
He does not look like an explosive athlete at all.
So why do you use him as a returner?
But he just makes plays.
He does make
And
plays.
he wins all over the field.
I said this in my notes. His play style would be great if he could be paired with a quicker, faster receiver.
Probably.
Okay. So, like, if let's say we throw him with like Amon-Ra St. Brown in Detroit,
Yeah.
or we put him with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my hot take.
I want to hear it.
This is going to be probably one of the biggest. I'm going to get crap for this. I know I am. And I know I'm going to get crap from the man to my right. I've got Denzel Boston higher than Jordan Tyson in my stack. The wide receiver at Arizona State.
Arizona State.
I like Denzel Boston more. And they're both big-bodied guys. Denzel Boston, to me, is a bigger Anquan Bolden. That's kind of what he reminds me of. Michael Pittman Jr., similar body type as well, with the Colts right now that's kicking ass, taking names.
Sure.
I like Denzel Boston a lot. He is just one of these guys.
It's a shame you're wrong,
He
but that's
uses
okay.
his frame so well, works back to the ball, high points the ball.
Yeah.
He is tremendous in the red zone.
Yeah.
He's tremendous in the red zone. And you know what it is?
Why is
the
he-
body control, Iisha.
That's what I was about to say.
It's the
Why?
body control, the drags, the crossers. He's used in the screen game. He threw a touchdown against Illinois. He is not a burner, and neither is Tyson.
He's not going to separate
I
a
see
lot.
him get back behind the defense
Sure.
more consistently than I see Jordan Tyson do. I think Tyson is incredible within a 15 to 20 yard box.
Oh, now listen, he's crawfishing a little bit now.
Not crawfishing. I've got Boston as my wide receiver 3. I got Tyson as my wide receiver 4.
And your first two, then I assume are
Makai Lemon and Carnell Tate.
okay.
said
You know I love the Ohio State receivers.
I know
gotta have
there's
Tate.
nobody that loves Ohio State wide receivers more than
Yeah.
your man
We know,
to your left.
But with the Anquan Bolden comparison, I just
It's
want to
just
ask
how
you
physical he is after the catch.
I just wanna ask
he'll
you-
run through a mofo's face.
how
And he catches everything thrown at him.
yeah, the yak ability is there. I think he's more powerful than what guys
Tough.
expect for him to be when he has the ball in his hands. But I
And
will
he's a
say,
physical blocker.
yeah. But you said Anquan Bolden. How did
Almost
what-
6'1".
How did he?
But he's
I'll say I got a story about Anquan Bolden.
But how did he maintain his career? Because he played for a while. How did he continue to maintain his career?
somewhat of a possession receiver,
And what else?
red zone guy.
And refining his what?
Routes.
His route running. Yeah.
I'm with you. He can refine his routes.
He
I think
can.
you're right.
He. I think he has enough that if a good coach gets with him,
Sure.
he can grow there. Now,
I'm a
are you
fan.
looking for him to do too much there? Maybe not. But I did say he was one of the better blocking teams in this draft, blocking wide receivers in this draft. I think that has a lot to do with the work he's done on
Yeah.
special teams as well.
And Tyson's
Go
probably
ahead.
the best.
Go ahead. He
but
about to say something.
Boston's right there.
What
No,
you got to say?
I think the body control, the hands are a real plus for any team that drafts him. I really do. I think you're right about that. The thing I would say about Anquan Bolden, real quick, Walter Juliff, when we were all working together with the Cowboys, Walter was a scout, longtime scout for the Cowboys, and Walter, we were trying to fight about Anquan Bolden, much like what we're doing right now. And Walter looked at him, and I think Anquan Bolden was school at Florida State.
Yeah.
And Walter, we were all kind of, hey, he can't run, he can't do this, he can't do that. Walter looked at us and says, listen here, you MFers. He goes, I don't give a damn where you put this guy. He is going to be the best receiver in this draft. And you guys can put him anywhere you want, but I'm just telling you, this guy's going to play a long time in this league. And sure enough, he did.
He was right.
He played a long time in this league, though. The lack of the route running, I think, is legit. I do think, though, that if you put him with the right program, though, like I said, if you pair him with somebody that can really, really run
Sure.
on the other side, I think you're going to get a hell of a player.
And maybe the Bolden comp, it's just the slow. Like
I think
people are going to
he's a
wonder, like, can he run?
4.57. He's a
Can he
4.5. Yeah, he can
Well,
just-
and
yeah.
he's not going to create a crap ton of separation either. That's just not his game.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I'm
All right.
interested in him.
But we're okay with it. We route running, but really good player, right?
Yeah.
Really good player,
But better than my guy Tyson from Arizona State.
Right now, I've got him at 3 and 4 on the stack.
Okay.
But I've got Boston ranked a little bit higher. I just saw him. In both of them, I think there's questions about deep speed.
Okay.
I saw a little bit more from Boston than I did Tyson, but a lot of people have Tyson as their number 1 receiver.
You've
So
done
I'm
the
on an
work.
island
You've
there.
done the work. Nope.
So where do you have Boston? Because I think I have him as my 3 or 4.
I've got him at 3.
Okay. I'm debating whether I want to put Lemon above him.
I've got Lemon as my top guy.
Lemon's really,
I
really
have
good.
Lemon above him.
Yeah, I love Lemon a lot. Okay. Iisha.
Well,
Got one for you. Final one.
The Nugget.
Here's a little. Now, this is what we're going to talk about. We've gone through the history of small cornerbacks, or we haven't really. We got Parrish from
Parrish.
Kansas State.
Yep.
We talked about Forbes from
He was
Mississippi.
skinny, not small. Amos. We
skinny.
talked about Amos, but you said that he wasn't that tiny.
No,
Right.
he was 6'1".
Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking right now, Iisha, tell me what you like or don't like about D'Angelo Pons, cornerback from Indiana.
Oh,
right.
Jade Barron, Maxwell Harrison.
was a
Those
good
were the
one.
two guys
Yeah.
from last year that we needed to mention.
Maxwell Harrison can play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he could.
But, I mean, we're talking sub 6 foot guys.
Sorry. So I wrote down 5'10", 170 with a question mark because what's going
I
on?
think he's
here?
5'9", 170.
I gave-
put 5'9" on.
Hey.
5'9", 170.
As a fellow little,
he's,
I gave him that inch.
he's mighty might. He's like
gave
our
him-
North
He is.
Carolina guard.
I
last
gave
year.
him that inch. I want to say about him. We talked about the transfer portal. We
Yeah,
talked about
D'Angelo
UIL.
Pons.
D'Angelo Pons, cornerback out of Indiana. I do believe that this is the type of guy that the transfer portal is made for.
Okay.
Because this is what, to me, this is what it's for. Is a guy that, he's from Florida native, went to James Madison.
Yep.
Had some starts there, 10 starts there, 51 tackles, 13 passes defended, 12 interceptions, and a TD. But he transfers.
Yeah. Goes with his coach.
Goes with Signetti.
He transfers to Indiana, and he thrives.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, when we talk about the transfer portal, I know a lot of people hate it, but it made me excited to see him because sometimes some guys just need to change the scenery. They do.
Right.
I said little crazy self. That's what I wrote down because
That's what you call him, a little crazy self?
Little crazy self. That was the first thing I said.
Yeah.
Little crazy self.
Plays with a bit of a screw so
Yeah,
that's
he
that's
is.
a good description.
He is obviously won the 2 defensive MVPs in the Rose Bowl and Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
Lets you know how productive he is. When you talk about a guy playing big, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder. The first things that stands out was how violent he wants to play. You can catch him a little bit, but
Yeah.
this player, and I said he's a quick reactor. He has a quick trigger
Yeah.
as well. I like how he is able to, he possesses fluidity through his movements with clean footwork. He's in and out of his transitions pretty cleanly as well. I can't wait to see him test because I think the back pedal rarely looks choppy with
No,
him.
it
It's
is, yeah.
very smooth movements. I think he's going to test very well come combine and those things. The mirroring skills are through the roof. I mean, I know he has to annoy guys with the ability to stay sticky and to stay in those guys' pockets. I also did see, even in those bowl games, you see him learning. I think he's picking up tendencies
Right.
through the game.
He looks like a
as well.
studier.
Yes,
Very
he's a
smart.
studier.
Yeah.
He's
He's a
picking up
film watcher.
tendencies
Yeah.
during it. I obviously too the ball skills. I think the route recognition really helps with the ball
100%.
skills.
Yeah.
This guy is reading, so he's able to make plays on the ball because he knows what's going to happen, and he doesn't panic when the ball's in the air.
No.
One thing I hate more than a tackle that's always on the damn ground
Yeah.
is a corner that be panicking when the ball's in the air. It will annoy me. Kalen Carson struggled with that this year. Leadership-wise, sounds like he really took a step. I'm reading some articles and reading some of the interviews he had, took a step this past year for this locker room. That's obviously something you're looking for. But this is
Right.
a twitchy, explosive guy with a lot of poise, and he's physical at the catch point. I also, too, tiny but mighty. I like how he collapses the edge
Yeah.
for a small guy.
He will throw his body.
He
in
is
there
not
and
afraid to
smack you.
throw his body
Yes.
out there. He ain't scared. I said he ain't scared of nothing.
And good
nothing
form
with the
tackler.
end. And a good form tackler, like you
dump
said. The eye discipline versus the run, and also too in zone. I do think he has some growth in zone. He can't take some risk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the only weaknesses I saw from him, the ones that stood out the most, the length.
Yeah.
Is that something that concerns you when he's
Yeah,
going up
no,
against
absolutely.
some of
That's
these
why- yeah,
bigger,
yeah,
taller
yeah.
guys?
He is so
and also,
small.
too, disengaging blockers when
Yeah.
he comes down to fit in the run. He's willing, but he shows Schmidl
Yeah.
that sometimes he can get, kind of caught up.
Get caught up.
You're not going to beat him on a whole bunch of double moves, but he does. He's not a guy that stops on a dime very, very quickly. Some of those guys, some of those bigger wide receivers that can stop and go might give him some issue in the bump and run because I don't know how powerful he is, and he doesn't have the length really to kind of separate. But this is a player. I mean, I know he's excited because he's sick.
Well, I love him
because he likes little guys.
like the
I do
little
too.
DBs, but
Yeah, D'Angelo
right.
Pons from
D'Angelo Pons, cornerback out of
his
Indiana.
weaknesses. I mean, he does get stuck on blocks,
Yeah.
and he can get pushed around a little bit, but boy, does he fight back.
A little crazy.
I mean, this dude's attitude, toughness, heart, and effort. I mean, if I could have 10 D'Angelo Pons on my defense,
Sick.
we're going to line up, and I'll tell you, we're not going to get outworked today.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You know, this kid for an undersized corner, and you watch him against Jeremiah Smith. And Jeremiah
That's a great
Smith,
battle.
That was
he
In the
blows
Big
by
Ten championship game.
Yeah,
it's a good
he went
battle.
off.
Yeah.
and they're pushing each other. And
Yeah.
it's just, you see this
Tight red zone was just a
yeah.
fight.
The field gets smaller.
Yeah.
He's going to be at his best.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But
yeah.
he does give up a big play to Jeremiah Smith, and he can get bullied and worked because he's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
But he is a dude who consistently just makes plays on the ball.
Yeah.
Like we talked about Kamari Ramsey, the safety at
USC.
We're like, why aren't you making more plays on the ball? You don't have that question with D'Angelo Pons.
Right.
Like this guy was 4th in the nation in passes defense per game. Also has a knack for blocking punts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was able to he will contribute as a special teams guy, but he closes so well, the downhill pursuit. I mean, just the ability to read, smooth change of direction, quick feet, the chip on his shoulder. You just I don't know that you can teach some of the instinct and the playmaking ability that he has. So some of the things that he's got that other players that are bigger don't. I mean, yeah, would I like him to be 6 foot and would he be a first-round pick and in conversation for the best corner in the draft? Hell yeah, he would. He's probably a day 2 guy.
Yeah.
But you gotta love watching him play.
Oh, no, you absolutely do. I think you guys got him nailed. You know, Iisha, I kind of thought I thought there was sometimes we say about zone players that they're like, oh, he's an okay zone player. I kind of feel like this guy is a good zone player
Yes.
because the way he can react.
Yeah.
Because you see him kind of like play up, turn, and bail, and then the way he's reacted and stuff
almost
like
bait guys a
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
kind of feel like to me that and I know you weren't just killing him on
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I'm
of
just saying though, man. Sometimes you say, oh, he could play zone. He's a good zone. He could play the zone. He's a good. In this case, I think this guy can actually play zone, and I think he can play man really, really well. And I was impressed how well he played against Smith in that game, a bigger physical guy, and Smith tried to bully him in that
he
game.
was not-
and he was not having any of that.
did
He
not
was
back down.
You know, and he's not a guy that gets up in your face and is a talker guy and all that. He goes out. That interception that he had, I mean, that was just a quick read and go against Miami there. And I tell you, not Miami, excuse me, against against Oregon.
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 Yeah.
In the
First one,
Oregon
sorry.
game, my bad. But yeah. I'll be interested to see how he finishes things out because I think if you look at the way the playoffs have gone and then you watch him during the season with the games that they played, this guy's setting himself up. Of the corners that you've seen, where do you have him in your stack of ones? And I know we still got a long way to go on some of these corners, but as you start to talk about potentially the McCoys at Tennessee, Delane at LSU, we've mentioned Cisse from South Carolina. I'm reading off my list here. Clemson's corner, Terrell, Hood. I know I've done Abney and those guys. How do you do you have him in an idea of a round? Maybe how you not stack him, but you have a round for this guy right now.
I think we're going to see a run on corner
I put him in the second.
in the second.
And I can
think
see-
he should be in the mix.
Yeah.
I think he should be in the mix. And I think you make a fantastic point at the fact that you cannot teach the attitude that is necessary to play corner.
Yeah.
You are going to get hit in the mouth. Yeah. You have a lot of responsibility, especially in this league. And is he a nickel?
I think he absolutely has the play temperament.
He's got
everything you want as a nickel.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I just he does have to be in the mix with some of those second round guys because
Yeah.
outside of the size,
Oh, I'm going to have you watch a guy at Miami named Scott.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I watched him.
Deontay.
Oh, I watched him. I think I mentioned him the first day.
No. We're gonna circle back on
Okay,
him
we'll
because
circle back
I
on
want
him.
we'll circle back on him because
But this corner class got me pumped. You hear me?
yeah. So if you're
it's a
a
really
fan,
fun group.
if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan and you're thinking corners, you're excited about this. If you're a fan of another team in the league, watch it. Thank you so much for joining us. By the way, we do love you. But yeah, you guys are happy about the corner group. But he's projected right now 5'7", 170. But the play is a second round player in your eyes.
Yeah, he 5'10", ain't he?
5'9".
We'll see what happens at the combine. I've got him as a second.
Give him that dang inch.
I'll give him. Hey, he's 6'2" in my book.
He plays like it. He sure does.
He plays like it.
He sure does play like it. All right. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much. Spirited conversation.
Fun.
These body types are important. Of like, are they too big? Are they too short? Are they too small? A lot of times, scouts, we get enamored with the numbers. We look at the numbers. Oh, he's not this. He's not that. What my two scouts just proved to you today is watch the damn tape. Watch the tape, and you learn a lot about these football players. So, again, for Iisha Morrison and Zach Wolchuk, I'm Bryan Broaddus. Thanks for joining us here on The Stack, here at Crown Global Media. You can catch all our stuff. We've got our website up. We got merch up. We got Stack merch up. How about that? You can get you a hat, T-shirt, and all that. Heck, you might even run into Iisha, and she might even sign your hat for you. So, again, for my guys, my scouting buddies, we really do appreciate you guys. Make sure when you're out there, please trust your eyes for what you're seeing. We'll see you next time.